In this video, I'm showing you how I put together a Father's Day tablescape representing the Marvel Comics Infinity Wars Endgame. So if you want to check that out, keep watching. If you're new to my channel, I'm Denise Jordan, and I teach women to make wise home health and beauty decisions. So if you want to learn more about running a household, subscribe. The men in my family were really grooving on the Infinity Wars Endgame. So I thought this Father's Day, instead of setting the usual tablescape, I would do something a little different, something that inspired them to kind of keep thinking about that Infinity Wars Endgame. And I think I managed to do just that. Let me bring you up so you can take a look. This is my Father's Day tablescape, and there is nothing frou-frou, nothing feminine about this tablescape. And what I wanted to do was make everything a little heavy, a little dark, a little so Avengers Infinity Wars. I wanted to make you think of the Avengers and the superheroes and all of those things that represent them. And the colors that represent the Avengers tend to be the golds, the reds, the blacks. Colors that just kind of layer the background or possibly pop when you least expect it. So that's what I brought to this table. Bold, dark, jewel tones. This particular collaboration, the Men in Your Life Father's Day Tablescape, hosted by Kimberly Davis at Diva Designing on a Dime and Stephanie at Creatively MsMe, had just two simple rules, and one that it needed to be a little rustic, and I've definitely got the rustic elements with that, and I'll bring you up closer so that you can see that in just a second. And the other one was just to have some pictures of the men in our lives on the table. And I don't have any pictures of them on the table. I'll get some and I will show those to you, but right now let's take a look at the table. So the foundation of the table setting is this gold charger, and there's beading around the charger, and this particular charger makes me think of the shields that some of the superheroes carry. The beading in particular, and then on top of that, we have this deep red plate with a gold rim around it, and again, the circular motion of the plate with the gold trim, and again this beading of the charger, and the two of them together just make me think of a shield. So that's the foundation of the table setting. And then I layered the dinner plate with a luncheon plate that carries that same red and gold theme. But on top of that, I put a black salad plate to represent the dark colors that you saw in the Black Panther and in some of the other superheroes. And that just sits right on top of that. But you still get a good look at the beading and then the gold trim with the black. And then of course we have our napkins. And in our napkin rings we've got kind of a little bit of an African type pattern, something to make me think of Wakanda. So the Black Panthers and Wakanda Forever, and this particular pattern makes me think of Wakanda. And then the gold represents the gold in Captain Marvel's uniform and in some of the other superheroes' uniform as well. And it's just sitting there on top of the plate. And then, of course, there's going to be plenty to drink, and so there are these kind of a tarnished, or I shouldn't say tarnished, but very old brushed copper goblets. Very small, but they can drink either ale or wine out of that. And these deep red stemware are very heavy, and they're perfect for men. There's nothing frou-frou about these goblets, and I like the beading pattern around it, which kind of picks up the beading that you have in the charger. And again, it just makes me think of some of the elements in some of the costumes that the various Avengers had. And then the flatware is very old, and you can see they've been polished quite a bit. So these little what I always call butter knives, are really quite sharp. So they can be flicked out in the instant in case they need to get to fighting or something like that. And then on the table, I've got this little golden pitcher that we're going to have some special ale in, and we can use this to pour into the gold goblets. And this is just the kind of pitcher you might see the Avengers using as they're preparing their strategy for battle. And then right behind the picture, I've got this dark lantern, and it just has a single red flower in it, very much like this one. I didn't want to put a candle in it because I didn't want to get it to be too bright. I wanted to kind of keep the mood dark and somber because the Avengers Infinity Wars was a dark and somber story. And then, of course, here you've got a bottle of wine, so they can open the wine and drink it as they talk their strategy. On the other side, there's another bottle of wine over here. And then, of course, on this end of the table is another pitcher. This is just a simple water pitcher, but again, it's old, stainless, and you can see how it's been just kind of tarnished over time, and it doesn't clean up at all. And right here in the front, you have something that represents the glove that these stones were in, that everyone was trying to get. And this is the glove that Thanos had on his hand that had the 5 stones. So, here's my tablescape. Now, I'll bring you up closer for a really good look. So here you can see the flatware, the black luncheon plate, the napkin with the kind of an ethnic or African style pattern, the beading on the charger, the gold rim on the dinner plate, the gold rim on the luncheon plate, and then there's another luncheon plate there. And this is us. The picture where you see us standing, we are at my retirement party, and he planned it for me, and it was such a wonderful event. He's such a kind and gentle husband, and it was a beautiful day. And you can see at the top where it says ovation, and that was what he called the retirement party, a standing ovation. And that was one of our favorite songs he used to play and sing for me, called Give My Baby a Standing Ovation. So that was the theme for the party. And then the other picture is us on the beach at Los Cabos in Mexico. We had gone there for my nephew's wedding, and it was such a magical time. I would love to go back. It was just beautiful there. Just the two of us, just enjoying ourselves and walking on the beach and getting our feet wet in the surf. It was just very, very nice. And this is our family. You see my husband and myself there. We've been married for 47 years. And in front of my husband is our oldest son, Jason. In front of me is our youngest son, Justin. And then right in the front is our only daughter, Jill. Jill and Jason are our twins. And in the other picture, you see another family photo, only this time the family has expanded. To the right of my husband, or rather to the left of my husband, is our son-in-law, Carlton. That's Jill's husband. And then in front of Justin is CJ, Jill's son. And in front of CJ is Jordan on one side, and then my daughter-in-law, Robin, on the other side. And Robin is Jason's wife. And then there's me. And then beside me on the other side is my daughter Jill, and she's got little Morgan on her lap. And beside Jill and Morgan is my daughter-in-law Charity, who is married to Justin. And there's Mackenzie on her lap, and I don't know what Mackenzie was doing. She was doing some kind of weird pose or whatever, and so she's only half on the photo. And my husband has been a wonderful, wonderful father. And this last photo was most recent. It is the photo from my husband's fishing club's annual fishing derby. They've hosted the derby for the past 22 years, and the last 3 years my son has flown in to bring his 2 little girls to the derby and to help his dad with different things at the derby. And there you see me in the middle, and then our oldest son Jason right there beside my husband and myself. And then you see the little fellow in front of him is our great-grandson. When Jason got married, his wife had 2 children, and one of her daughters now has 2 children, and this little man here is their grandson and my great-grandson. And then in front of me, you see Morgan and Mackenzie, and they've grown up quite a bit since then, and they love their granddaddy. Mackenzie is the tallest one at age 9, and Morgie is the smaller one at age 7. And both of them are definitely daddy's girls. So both of my sons are excellent fathers or father figures because they've had a great father figure or role model from their own father. Let me take this opportunity to thank Kimberly Davis at Diva Designing on a Dime and Stephanie at Creatively MsMe with Stephanie for hosting this collaboration for the men in our lives. I was looking for an excuse to do this Avengers Infinity Wars Endgame Tablescape, and this was the perfect opportunity for me to do that. So thank you guys for hosting this collaboration so that I could set this up for the men in my life. If you are not familiar with Kimberly or with Stephanie, you are truly missing out because both of them are very, very creative ladies, and you will definitely enjoy their channels. I will link them below so that you can go over and visit, and I will also link the playlist below so that you can see what all the other creators have done to honor the men in their lives. So when you look at this tablescape, what part do you have a question about? Or what part is most interesting to you? Tell me in the comment section below. And if you like this tablescape, I've got some others that you might enjoy. I will link them above so that you can check them out. And then I've also started my gardening series, so you can check that out. And if you're into comfort foods, my mac and cheese recipe is to die for, so you might want to check that out. And just so you know, I've raised 3 children. I've managed a home for more than 45 years, and I am a nurse by profession. So if you want to learn more about running a household, subscribe. I would love to have you as a member of the TNT community. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying goodbye. I will see you in the next video. Cheers. Now, just in case you're interested, I picked up the napkins from Pure One. I've had these napkin rings for so long, I don't remember where they came from. These black plates are from Pure One. These red and gold plates are from Pure One. The charger is from Hobby Lobby. This flatware I picked up thrifting. These goblets I got at a garage sale next door for $5, and they come with a set of 6. These goblets came from Pure One a couple years ago. This little pitcher right here I also got at the same garage sale where I picked these up, and you'll see this again in my $5 Goodwill Challenge. I picked this up for $3.50. The blood red peonies came from Pure One. This lantern came from Pure One. And these Kenta napkins, I made those myself with some cloth. And I'm not sure where we got the wine. This picture here, I picked up thrifting. And I believe I got the tablecloth at Walmart.